It's the holidays. Save your money. Gabby wants a Prada bag for Christmas.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gabby. Hi! If you're new here, hi! And if you're not new here and you're not yet subscribed, you need to subscribe right now because I don't know what you're doing. We're on the road to 1K and we're almost there. We're literally almost at 700 too. Like, oh my God. Wow. We are growing, y'all. We got to get it together. Oh my God. Y'all know I don't like to do long ass intros. So today we're going to be reacting to Big Show's WWE career makes no sense. I wanted to react to a video a little bit more recent, so I chose this one. What do I think of the Big Show? Well, I wasn't really a Nikki fan. Again, like, if I'm not a fan of you, like, I'm not gonna really pay attention to you or like go look for you anywhere, you know? That's how I am as a non-fan. A non-fan, what the hell? So yeah, I wasn't really checking for Big Show back in the day. Storyline wise, like, I don't really remember anything like that stood out to me, okay? So yeah, like, put in the comments, like, what do y'all think of Big Show? Like, was he y'all fave? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into the video.
The Big Show is one of the most iconic, most recognizable wrestlers of all time. Standing at 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, The Big Show is a wrestling legend through and through. And from world titles to a WrestleMania main event, Paul White has done it all in the WWE. But despite that, despite all the accolades, despite all the countless matches and moments and memories, The Big Show's 21-year WWE career makes no sense whatsoever. Paul White has had the weirdest yet the most successful career you could possibly imagine, with more turns than a NASCAR race, demotions to promotions, diapers to tears, and even toilets being clogged. The Big Show's WWE career makes no sense, and it definitely deserves a look back at. Right off the bat, I'm gonna be honest, when I was a kid, I used to hate The Big Show. I used to hate this big, tall, cookie monster looking ass giant, because even as a younger fan, I always just thought he was the most useless wrestler ever, and looking back at it, it was all because of how he was booked. One of my first memories I have of watching The Big Show was from the magical year of 2003, and instantly, from the first time I ever laid my eyes on The Big Show, I knew this was a wrestler that I was never gonna take seriously. Because despite him being taller than everyone, bigger than everyone, stronger than everyone, despite him being the world's largest athlete, I shit you not, the first memory I have of The Big Show involves him letting out like 30 lethal farts and sharts on a random episode of SmackDown. Yeah, the first time I vividly
he doesn't really have that aura about him to like pass as a heel. Cause I do remember him like always turning heel or whatever. But like he just has like that, he looks like a little big teddy bear. Like, he looks like he's really nice, you know? As a heel, couldn't really take him seriously because it's like you don't really have that look. Yes, you're big, but just because you're big don't mean you're intimidating, you know? So like, yeah.
Remember seeing The Big Show was when he stole Eddie Guerrero's burrito backstage, because that's a normal thing that people do. He stole Eddie Guerrero's burrito backstage, decided to wrestle after eating that said burrito, and then proceeded to run away from the ring because of stomach pains and stunk up the entire arena with the most deadly farts I've heard to this day. And after that, like forever, for the rest of my life as a wrestling fan, I always just considered Big Show just one fat, big Neanderthal, and I hated him. It was weird. Growing up, The Big Show's career and all my years of fandom was such a giant meme. The first time I saw him, he was committing war crimes with his ass. A few months later, he was losing to John Cena at WrestleMania, and then he was casually killing Kurt Angle. 6-year-old me watched this man get shot on TV with a tranquilizer gun and then get his head shaved bald while he drooled everywhere. And then a few years later, he transformed into Peter Griffin and became ECW champion, and then got Vince's head stuck up his ass. Wait, what? As you can see, from the day I became a wrestling fan, the Big Show experience was a wild experience, a bipolar experience to be honest, and one of the main reasons I despised him was nobody ever knew what the f was going on with this guy. Big Show had absolutely zero consistency in his career. In a span of weeks, Show would go from being booked as the most dangerous wrestler in the world, and then out of nowhere, he would become legit the most useless wrestler ever. One week, Big Show would be booked as a big friendly giant, and then next week, he's like the most evil character in the world. They would change this man's character like what seemed like every single week. How was I ever supposed to take this man seriously? This man was having mood swings every single week. By 2008, Show had switched between being a heel or a face 13 times in the WWE alone. 13 times. I remember when he came back to the company at No Way Out 2008. He came out and it was our first time seeing him in over a year, and as a result, he came back as a face. He got a pretty good reaction, he was playing up to the crowd, he was getting cheered, and I was like, oh yay, Big Show's back, Big Show's back. And then he decides to beat up Rey Mysterio and basically turn heel 3 minutes later. So even when he would make a return, they had him turning during his return. It was turnception. So after that heel turn, right, he gets into a feud with...
I remember this. I forgot all about this. Oh my god. Floyd Mayweather broke his nose. Okay. Nostalgia.
In the same feud, he has to turn back face. And I just hated his character so much. He was so untrustworthy, so unreliable, and there's so many face and heel turns over the years that eventually it wasn't even a surprise anymore. It was like, oh, Big Show's on TV. Yeah, it's time for a heel turn. I remember back in 2009, he beat Jericho on an episode of Raw, and I was like, whoa, Big Show turned face. He's joining Team Raw at bragging rights. Team Raw got the world's largest athlete, and honestly, it felt like a big deal, as much as a big deal a Big Show face turn could be. And guess what happens at bragging rights? It just became a running gag at this point. It just became a continuous joke throughout the history of the WWE. Like, I'm telling you, when Big Show turned on Team WWE at Survivor Series 2014, which by the way was his 24th heel turn of his career, there was nobody over the age of 10 that was surprised. That was the least surprising plot twist we had ever seen. So many heel turns, so many face turns, it never made any sense. But one of the main reasons why I also hated the Big Show growing up, other than his character turns, was just the amount of matches and moments that they had this man ruin, and it just always irritated me. Now looking back at it, it wasn't that many matches or moments that he technically ruined, but when you were living through it when I was a kid, it really felt like the Big Show ruined anything special. I remember like it was yesterday, right? It's 2009 and John Cena and Edge are shaping up to finally have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, right? It's WrestleMania 25, the 25th anniversary. It's gonna be special. Edge is world champion. It's gonna be awesome. World title on the line. Match made in heaven. Finally, this legendary feud was gonna get to the WrestleMania stage. Well, it's a big show. Who the hell wanted Big Show to be a part of this match? But whatever, it's fine. That doesn't happen. Let him have a triple threat. It's okay. At least at Backlash, we're gonna get Cena and Edge one-on-one again on pay-per-view in a last man standing match. Somebody's gonna die. This is gonna be a war. I wonder who wins. I can't wait for the ending. And well, it's a big show. Why are you here, bro? Whatever, it's fine. It's now 2012 and John Cena's taking on John Laurinaitis in the worst pay-per-view main event we've had in a long time, probably ever. At least Cena is gonna win this and end the damn feud, and we can move on with our lives, move on from this whack-ass feud, and just, well, it's a big show. I hate you. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Cena and Big Show have their feud for the 52nd time. It's done, it's over, Cena can move on. It's time for Raw 1000, okay? It's Cena versus CM Punk on the 1000th episode of Raw. What a big time match. They're gonna drop a classic, the ratings are gonna be crazy high, the world is watching, you know, let them cook. I wonder what's gonna happen. Well, it's a big show. Yo, what are we doing here, Matt? Whatever, it's fine. At least we're probably still gonna get Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam. It's a big show. Daniel Bryan is taking on the Authority. This has nothing to do with the... Why the hell was the Big Show the second last man eliminated by Roman Reigns in the 2015 Royal Rumble? But what's really fascinating about this is that all of this kind of preceded my fandom and most of our fandoms. This man, the poor Big Show, since day one in his arrival in the WWE, was just booked in a way that is impossible to comprehend, and it is so fascinating to look back at. See, the funny thing is, as much as Big Show was a meme during our childhoods, when Show was originally signed back in 1999, he was signed to an insane 10-year deal by Vince McMahon. He was signed with the intention of being a legit top 5 star in the company for the next decade. Vince McMahon, in his eyes, stole WCW's biggest asset, and he did. Just literally. And after he made his first appearance in the company back in 99, he was straight into the main event scene and he was off to the races, and it seemed like this was going to be a no doubt success. But not long after, it was evident right from like the first 2 months of his run with the company that they had no idea what the hell they wanted to do with this guy. Big Show's first year or so in the company is amazing, okay? People always talk about Brock Lesnar's rookie year or Kurt Angle's first year. People talk about Logan Paul had a great rookie year. No. Take a look at this shit. They had this man who they just signed to a 10-year deal, debut as a heel in the company in February of 99, right? 2 months later in April, they're already having him turn face, okay? 2 months after that, they have him turn back heel. They turned him back face after The Undertaker got injured and they were in the tag team together. Then they had the big boss man crash his dad's funeral and make him cry and make him look like the biggest buffoon we had ever seen. But then they gave him the world title like a month after that. But instead of pushing him as a legit world champion, this big monster, they had him defending the world title against Big Boss Man on pay-per-view. why? But it's like, whatever, despite everything, despite the heel turns, face turns, at least he's world champion. Let's see what he's gonna do. Let's see what he's all about. Yeah, he loses the world title on the first episode of Raw of 2000. All right, that's fine, whatever. At least he finished second in the Rumble, right? He was a runner-up. They turn him back heel after the Rumble, and then he just casually main events WrestleMania. What the hell was going on? How do you have 4 character turns in little over a year? This man just makes his debut in the company, and he's already flip-flopping left, right, 4 character turns. But whatever, it's fine. At least he was world champion in his first year of the company. At least he main evented WrestleMania. That itself is pretty insane. So clearly it's like they see a lot in him, right? They're gonna push him seriously. He's gonna be a big time star for the next 9 years or so. He was dressing up as Hulk Hogan less than a month after main eventing WrestleMania. Bro, what? Yo, imagine main eventing WrestleMania and the next month the company has you doing this.
Yeah, they made him into like a jokester, and they should have just kept him like that. And instead of just keep turning him face heel, face heel, face heel, they should have just kept him as like that goofy big guy. Like, you know, just because you're big don't mean you gotta beat everybody up, you know?
Big Show post WrestleMania 2000 is one of the wildest downfalls we've ever seen in wrestling. Turns out the company the whole time while they're pushing him and trying to get him over thought he was fat, thought he was useless, basically hated him, and they wanted to punish him. So next thing you know, he's out here impersonating wrestlers. The same man who just main evented WrestleMania. Oh, by the way, when he started doing the impersonations, they had him turn back face, right? So make that 5 character turns in a little over a year to make him really come off as a big deal. They started calling him the Big Nasty Bastard. How do you even think of naming someone that? The Big Nasty Yeah, son, who's your favorite wrestler? The Big Nasty Bastard. And then in 2000, the same year all this happened, a little over a year after he made his debut, they actually demoted him down to developmental. Mind you, this was a man who had just signed a 10-year deal, one of the most biggest free agent signings the company had ever done. Someone who's making more money than 90% of the roster was sent down to developmental to get back in shape and improve his attitude. And it's like, yo, what a crazy year. 6 character turns, a world title, a WrestleMania main event, an impersonation gimmick, and then a demotion. What a lifestyle. So yeah, as you can see, the buffoonery of his career, the bipolarness of his career began literally the day he stepped foot into the company. And so by the time we started watching 05, 06, 07, this man was almost a decade into his generational run of just buffoonery. Getting sprayed with sewage water, destroying toilets, a sumo match at WrestleMania, and then it was like every year, it was like, oh, time for the yearly Big Show push. Well, what a career. But it is funny because jokes aside, despite all of that, despite me clowning him and saying I used to hate him as a kid, Big Show still had some really elite moments in his career. You know, I look back at his 02 and 03 run, and he was definitely finally being booked as how he should be. And that to me is his defining run. Him on SmackDown in 02 and 03, before he destroyed the toilet, he was a monster. And looking back at his 06 run, as funny as it was definitely him putting in work, right? He was doing his thing. And as the years went on, his bang with Floyd Mayweather was a classic. And as the company turned PG, he was definitely a reliable hand. And that's why the company put him into those situations, right? Why he was always beefing everyone or always had a program, always turning face or heel. He was a fun character. He was a giant who could work. He had range, and he was down for anything and everything. So even though when it was silly as hell, all those face turns and everything, Big Show was just that guy who could be put into any situation and he would do everything he could to make it work. And it's a credit to him, man. That's why despite everything, he is a legend. He has overcome a lot and he just rolled with the punches and became a legend. Even his Jericho run, I remember back in the day, was really fun. His team with the Miz. But yeah, it's crazy because when I look back at the Big Show's career, it is so funny and so fascinating to me because this was someone who signed a 10-year deal and supposed to be one of the guys for a decade plus, and I guess he technically was, and of course it all worked out. He's a legend, all things considered, but from all the turns to his insane first year in the company, which is something we will never see again, to his career-long affinity to ruin big matches for yours truly, all having some pretty big matches of his own, Big Show's career doesn't make any sense. There was no consistency. The company hated him, then they loved him, they made him do this, that, heel, face, this, everything. But it all worked out. Such a funny career to look back at, and honestly, Big Show to me will always be a legend for being the first and only person to lose a tables match like this. What a goof, and I mean that in the best way possible. Trust me, definitely as I got older, I have definitely come to appreciate the Big Show. Legend through and through.
I'm pretty sure we'll see him in the Hall of Fame. I don't think anytime soon, but I'm sure within maybe next 20 years he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Like Big Show is iconic. Like y'all have to give it to him. Like he's that guy. And yes, like this kind of opened my eyes a little bit. Like he does have the range. And hey, he took what they gave him and he ran with it. You know, he was doing his job. So put down in the comments, like, what did you wish to see from the Big Show if you were a Big Show fan, or if you have opinions on that, or like, what's your opinion on Big Show? Like, were you a fan? Were you a Nikki fan? Thank you all for watching, and if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Again, we're on the road to 1K, and my TikTok and my Instagram are down below. You should follow me. And put down in the comments like your recommendations, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.